Michael Carrick was tasked with leading Manchester United to the Champions League, and he's nearly delivered this season. A win against Arsenal since 2017, a win against Chelsea since 2020, and an impressive performance against Manchester City. Different stadiums, different pressure, same results. And this is what teams in the Premier League and even Europe should be wary of. Under Michael Carrick, the team has a clear 4-2-3-1 formation, better spacing, controlled pressing, and players truly seem to understand their roles. Even when they only had one shot on target at Stamford Bridge, they still won. That wasn't luck, it was a team learning how to win in a different way. But here's the real question. Can this version of Manchester United truly hold on to a top 4 finish? Sometimes, football doesn't care about momentum, and it reveals everything. Squad depth, midfield control, defensive stability, and attacking efficiency. But there are still gaps in this team that mean changes will be needed next summer. Because if they improve their midfield, if they improve their defensive depth, if they reduce their reliance on a single player, then this stops being a comeback story and becomes a problem. With players like Bruno Fernandes leading the way and a system that's finally starting to make sense, this doesn't look like the fragile United we've seen in recent years. This looks like something much more difficult to deal with. And that's why Carrick's United are ready to rock Europe next season. Let's break down the situation properly. United's last Champions League campaign was a 2023-24 season. That campaign ended in the group stage after a defeat to Bayern Munich at Old Trafford. Then came the 2024-25 season, United didn't even participate, and now the 2025-26 season, they're only watching elite teams on TV. For a club as big and historic as Manchester United, that's not just disappointing, it's bewildering. That's why a win at Stamford Bridge feels so much bigger than a typical away result. Matheus Cunha's goal from Bruno's cross was United's first win at Stamford Bridge since 2020. Analysts described it as a major step towards Champions League football next season, and the numbers make the result even more remarkable. Chelsea had 21 shots to United's 4, enjoyed nearly 60% possession, and had 40 touches in the penalty area to United's 10. By every conventional measure of a football match, Chelsea should have won that easily, but they didn't. Not because they were lucky, but because they clearly understood what the game required. Absorbing pressure, defending the penalty area, protecting space, and capitalizing on key moments. This wasn't a team relying on luck. This was a team that learned how to win serious matches in a different way. And that difference is crucial, because that's what really makes this story interesting. It's not just one result, but a pattern. Michael Carrick's first league match back in charge was Manchester United against Manchester City. The analysts didn't just say United won, they said United dominated. 3 goals were disallowed, they hit the net 3 times, and City barely threatened. Erling Haaland, the most feared striker on the planet, had just 14 touches and 0 shots on target. A week later, United visited the Emirates. Title-chasing Arsenal were unbeaten at home all season, winning 13 of their 16 matches, scoring 38 goals and conceding 7 at home. United went there and won 3-2, their first league victory at the Emirates since 2020. The Premier League's own analysis called it a perfectly executed game plan. So what exactly changed? Because clearly something did. Carrick's tactical imprint was visible enough to explain why this performance felt repeatable rather than fluke. The Premier League's analysis noted United moved to a 4-2-3-1 formation, moving away from the previous 3-man defense and towards more direct, fast-paced attacking football. In late February, the league's own tactical review showed United produce almost double the direct attacks, 50% more quick counterattacks per game, and 21 more passes into the final third per 90 minutes compared to the start of the season, while also winning the ball higher up the pitch.
Šeško inside the area, Šeško at the Stretford end! Manchester United take 3 points away from the game against Fulham.
And from the very first minute of the second half, there were only one team that were actually dominant, and that was Manchester United. They were by far the better team in the second half. Michael Carrick's men went in with positivity.